Yo, what's up with y'all? It's Keymajor. I'm back with another video on the DK channel. So I'm showing you guys how to make some evil orchestral melodies for Southside and Pyrex Whippa. So let's get straight to the video. So that's how the sample sounds. So yeah, as you can tell, it sounds really dark and evil, so let's get straight to the melody. So the first line was from Contact. I use the Nucleus Brass. So I came up with this melody. It was very simple. First, I went up here to the piano roll options and I went down to view. I went down to scale highlighting and I picked minor natural Aeolian and then my root note, which was D. Then I just laid down my root note and then A on top of it. And then all I did was I copied and pasted the D up an octave and I did that again another octave. This MIDI might look a little complicated, but it's just the same notes copied up an octave over and over. Then I just laid down these two notes right here. It's A sharp and then I put it a half step down to A. These two notes are right next to each other, which is causing a lot of tension in the melody. It's allowing me to, to just capture that horror movie-like feel and just dark melody. Then all I did was I copied and pasted it up an octave, and I just moved it to the right. And like I said, these two notes being next to each other caused tension for the melody and made it sound dark. Then I just took this simple pattern and I copied it over again. And then just for variety, I just strummed these two notes right here. And then I copied this pattern one last time. And then last thing I did was all R, and I just messed with the velocity. The effects, the first thing I did was I did a little bit of stereo separation, and then I added halftime. I just added the 1 bar 2x, and I just turned the mix knob down to 46. Then I added ambience reverb. I just turned the mix knob down, and then I just EQ'd a lot of the lows. I toned down some of the high mids, and then that was really it for the effects. The next line I used was from Contact again. I used the Nucleus Choir. Just pick these staccato phrases. So yeah, it's very simple. It's just a bunch of chords. I just copied the same notes from earlier. If you copy the melody, you can see I'm using the exact same notes, nothing new except this G down here. So yeah, all I did was I just did D and A, and like I said, I just copied D up an octave, and I just laid down half steps in between the melody to create bounce, to create rhythm, and just give the melody more variety. Then at the end, I moved the D to D sharp to make the melody sound more dark, and I just copied this melody over again, and that was really it. The effects, I did a little bit more stereo separation than the last sound, just so it's more wide on the headphones. Then I added ambience reverb again. I just turned the mixer knob down. With vocals, adding reverb makes them just sound more ambient, and it's a really good effect to put on most vocals. Then I just put an EQ. I EQ'd the lows out, and then I raised the highs so the vocals are more crisp. After that, I added Contact again. It's the same bank, it's just the sustained vocals. So it's a very simple melody. I'm just going down the scale, and then I go back up, and then I copy this over, but I just moved the last note half step up to D sharp. And like I said multiple times, using notes that are right next to each other causes a lot of tension and allows you to capture that horror movie dark feeling for your melodies. For the effects, I just panned it to the right. I did some more stereo separation, and the choir already sounded really good, so all I added was a little bit of reverb, and I just EQ'd the lows, a little bit of the mids, and I raised the highs. After that, I just added a boo bass just to cover more of the low frequencies. I just turned the mid down and I turned the treble down all the way. That was a very simple pattern. I literally just followed the root note, but at the end I kind of switched it up and I went up the scale and then back down. Then I just copied this over again and I just turned the A down to F. But yeah, it's very simple. I'm just following the root note, which is D. And I just gave a little bit of variety at the end just for the bass to sound more catchy. The effects, I just took out a lot of the highs and I took a little bit out of the lows. Now for the catchiest part of the melody is definitely the violin. This is how it sounds without effects. So as you can tell, the violin's pretty bouncy, has a lot of rhythm, and sounds really dope. All I did was I stretched it to be on the right BPM, and it was already tuned, so I didn't have to pitch it. For the effects, I did some stereo separation, and I just added some reverb ambience, just for the violin to sound less dry. And then I added halftime. I just turned the mixer knob down, 1 bar, 2x. I just added the halftime to layer the violin with a second layer that's half speed, so it covers more of the low frequencies, and it's kind of just tucked in the background. And I just lowered the lows, a little bit of the mids, and I raised the highs for it to be more crisp. By the way, I got this violin from Splice. I forgot which kit, but yeah, I got it from Splice. You could also use Arcade. Arcade has a lot of good violins and ethnic sounds. And the last thing I added was the vocals. These are also from Splice. You could also get good vocals from Arcade, or just search up one shots or vocal kits or any string phrases on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure you can find good free ones. This was already tuned as well, so all I did was I just stretched it to be on time. For the effects, I just panned it a little bit to the left, and I did some more stereo separation. Like I said earlier, reverb is a really good effect for adding on vocals, so I added some reverb just for it to sound more ambient. I just added an EQ. I took out a bunch of the lows, mids, kind of high mids, and I just raised the highs. After that, I just created this arrangement. I just played all the sounds together in the beginning. I took some out and brought some others in, and I just added the stems at the end. Before I exported, I added an EQ on the master. I just lowered some lows, I lowered some of the mids, and I kind of raised the highs, and I just exported it. I pitched it down 100 cents, and this is how the final sub sounds. So yeah, that's really it for the whole sample. It's pretty simple. Just really focus on sound selection and making sure you're picking the right sounds, good quality sounds, and not really overdoing it. If you're picking good sounds, you do not have to do much with the MIDI or the effects. Sound selection is very important, and simplicity is key. And make sure you guys do also cop the Drum Knockers kits. The whole team has some fire loops on there, so make sure you do not miss out on those either. And always make sure you sign up for the Patreon. It'll be the first link in the description down below. You get taught by any of the DK members, anything ranging from loops, sound selection, drums, mixing, arranging, whatever you need. And last thing is, you guys make sure to go follow me on Instagram at Keymajor Beats. Give me to 300 followers over there. And make sure you guys also follow Drum Knockers on Instagram at Drum Knockers. Both of those will be linked in the description down below. But that's really it. I really hope you guys did enjoy and learn something new. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell. And I'll see you on the next video.